I'll turn the light so that it's a little bit clearer. You're watching this video in the right-hand side here. What you're doing is you're going to write down your observations before the collision and after. That looks good enough. And after the collision. So kind of like what we were just doing. You can use words to write it down. You can draw me a picture. If these boxes don't make sense for you, you can just describe to me what's happening. But I want you to think about these things in 3 different categories. What happens when the left-hand cart crashes with something with a smaller mass? What happens when it crashes with something with an equal mass? And then what happens when it crashes with something with a larger mass? So don't be constrained or feel weird about all these different boxes here. I really just want you to pay attention to what's happening to the 2 carts when they crash. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. And some of this may look familiar in what we did in our orientation. All right. So the first video is the left-hand cart. There's going to be a cart that's going to come in, and it's going to crash into something with a smaller mass. So let's see what happens when it crashes into something with a smaller mass. So I'll play it twice more. Oops. So think, right now, this is very similar to our setup. It's sitting there, steady, velocity. If it's not moving, the velocity is what, Diamond? It's 0, right? Start with the 0 velocity, and then another cart comes in, and let's see what happens. All right, I'll play it one more time, and then we'll talk about it. All right, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to draw what you saw, think about it, write about it, and then we're going to talk about it.
Right here.
You want to play it one more time? You want to play it? I'll play it again. I'm playing it one more time for Terica. She said she didn't see it. Here it goes. If you blink, you might miss it. All right. Let's talk about it. What do we notice happened when this car with a larger mass crashed into a car with a smaller mass? Now, if I have 2 hands up before I even get to finish asking the question, go ahead, Jamil. What happened?
I moved fast.
Which car moved fast?
The first one.
The first one. So the first one came in.
I was like,
Oops. The first one came in. It was moving fast. And then what happened to our second one? Thanks, Jamil, for volunteering. What happened to our second one, Charles?
kept going.
What kept going?
The other car it was moving on fast. It was gone.
So when you talk about them, I want you to talk about like the first car and the second car. So what was the first car doing?
Going fast.
It was going fast. And then what was the second car doing?
It was going fast.
It was going fast always? The whole time it was going fast?
Oh.
So when did it start to go fast? Terica, help him out. When did it start to go fast? You got it.
The first car hit the second one.
Yeah, so this first car with a larger mass, so this would be something like our Ford F-150, a big pickup truck, comes in and it hits a little, what do you drive again, a Volvo something?
Volvo S70. It's a really, really heavy car.
Oh, man. All right, cool. Well, let's say, oh, yeah, I know what you drive, but I drive it too, so I don't want to knock it. So let's say a big Ford F-150.
In high school, I drove a Volkswagen Cabriolet convertible, which was about this big, and I think I could have picked it up myself. So you can go with that one.
So let's say our first car is a big Ford F-150 pickup truck coming in, and then the second car is a little convertible or a little Honda Civic or a little Honda Fit car that's just getting knocked out of the way. How do you think the people feel in the smaller car? How do you think the people feel in the smaller car? Think about that for about 30 seconds. You were in the smaller car. How do you think people would feel?
Small, push.
Well, not small. I mean the lighter car. The car with the smaller mass. The second car. If you were in the second car, how do you think these people would feel after a collision, after a crash? Think about it for 10 seconds and we'll talk about it. I'll play the video again. All right, let's bring it back. 5, 4, 3, 2. Let me see some hands. 1, how would you feel if you were in the car car with the smaller mass. I got Jamil's hands up first, then I'm going to Charles, Rashawn, Jamil. How do you feel?
I'm gonna smash if I got crushed.
Yeah, you would feel smashed, right? You would feel a lot of impact or a lot of force or a lot of momentum from the other car. That's great. Charles, I think I saw your hand next.
I would feel nervous because it's too small.
You would feel nervous because it's small and the other car is bigger. Think about it. And Rashawn, how would you add? How would you feel? You were in the car with a smaller mass. Completely crushed. Yeah. That's scary.
Yeah.
So here at the Ford Motor Company, we really value safety, and we know that cars with larger masses usually are better protected in collisions. All right, so now let's take a look at equal mass. So let's say we had two of our cars, which were about the same mass, are